viewpoints and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And hello and good evening, everyone. And we got started a couple minutes late. It's on me. It's all on me. I didn't click a button that I had unclicked the other night. I'm sorry. This is like my 5th podcast in 7 days, so give me a break. My guest tonight, well, let's start with the co-host. I got to get a rhythm going here. Barbara Jane is my co-host tonight. Welcome back, Barbara Jane. And this time I actually put your name on screen correctly, so we have that going for us. Speak.
Oh, hello. Hello, everyone.
I want to make sure everything's working.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Wes. Yes, everything is working.
And of course, my guest tonight is the wonderful and cuddly R.A. Mihailoff. How are you tonight, R.A.?
Wes, how are you?
So far, I'm frazzled. Okay, before we get started with R.A., One Cut of the Dead. Joe Lewis will be on tonight with the Bonehead Weekly Movie Review. And we have 4 celebrity announcements tonight and a whole bunch of other stuff. But, R.A., I got good news for you. I finally got to watch Ride Hard, Live Free.
You did?
Yes, finally.
And?
I liked it. It didn't suck at all.
Thank you. I had so much.
I know now why you were so proud of being in that movie. You had told me about that movie and you bragged on it, and I never got to see it, and now I know why you pushed it on me.
Oh, it was so much fun, and I made some lifelong friends on it.
If I had any critique of the movie, I was expecting more out of the final fight scene. It seemed that, but then you come out of the woodwork there and save the day, which I did love that redeemed your character, because up until then you kind of look like a bad guy. Not to give any spoilers, everybody.
Well, I'm a bad guy. I'm a bad man. I'm a bad man. We had to work around the restrictions of a ultra low budget.
It didn't show real. I mean, everybody, if you haven't seen this movie, and once again, it's called Ride Hard, Live Free. It's on Tubi. I would call it Mad Max Light. That would be kind of the gist of it.
Well, it's set in the future, and I drove out to Pahrump, Nevada, where we shot it. As I was driving out, as I was heading west, the executive producer was heading west as well on, his route from Arkansas, and so we would call each other and discuss things. And I don't know where I was exactly, but I saw all these old telephone poles with the crossbar. And I called him up and I said, "Hey, Steve Lowry is his name." And I said, "Hey, Steve, I'm looking at all these phone poles along the road. That'd be a perfect place to crucify people." And there was another thing. I don't know how much you pay attention to American biker culture, but I call it a chain-driven wallet. Every biker has a wallet on a chain.
Right.
So one of my one of my epiphanies, as I was out in the middle of nowhere, I called Steve and I said, "Hey, Steve, are we going to be wearing chain-driven wallets? I mean, we don't have money, we don't have credit cards. There's no use to carry a wallet." And Steve and I never really resolved that. And when I got out there, the first day I worked, we were using members of the Sconers Motorcycle Club.
Mm-hmm.
And the first day I worked, the national president of the Sconers came straight from church to the location, and he had his chain-driven wallet, as all bikers do. So the way I rationalized it was, it's such an iconic piece of gear that we wore it symbolically.
Fair enough. Now see, I didn't even. This is how out of it I am, RA. I didn't even know Sconers was a real thing, because that was what the name was in the movie.
Yes.
You used that patch. I had no idea. You have educated me.
Let me give you a little background on that. So, I get a call from my manager, Judy Fox. She goes, "Hey, RA, I'm working on something you're absolutely perfect for. It's a biker movie set in the desert." I said, "Yeah, that's right in my wheelhouse." And and she's like, as an actor, you're not privy to the deal. Your people, your manager, your agent, your lawyer, they're the ones that do all the negotiating for the money and terms and things like that. So the deal is made. She says, "I'm going to send you the script." "Oh yeah, okay, great." So I read the script. About page 17, the log line is "Interior Sconers Motorcycle Club Clubhouse Night." And she told me the director was from Las Vegas and he was a really nice guy. So I get to this point, and I wasn't real familiar with the Sconers, but I knew somebody that had been a member of the club. So I knew it was a real three-piece patch club, right? So I called Judy and I said, "Hey, do these people know that they're using real club colors in this thing?" She goes, "I don't know. Let me find out." So, and here I am. I'm thinking, "Oh yeah, I'll take this movie, and we'll be out in the middle of the damn desert, and 20 or 30 Sconers will roll up on us and give us the facts of life." So I was ready to turn it down, because I don't want to run afoul of any club. And so about 2 hours later, she calls me back. "It's okay. The national president of the Sconers is a technical advisor, and the executive producer is a member of another motorcycle club." So we had their blessing.
Well, that worked out good. Barbara, over to you.
Hey, RA. So
Hi,
before you were able to get on tonight, I was talking to Wes and Anita about how I went down a rabbit hole. I was looking up, I probably watched like 7 or 8 of your interviews, trying to find questions that you haven't already been asked 100 times.
Good luck on that.
So I might have found a few.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I know everyone brings up Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, which I'm still going to bring it up, but
Okay.
I did have a question that I don't think has been asked before.
Okay,
So yeah, I'm going to lay it on you here. So with this being loosely based on Ed Gein, did you do any now obviously this was the 3rd movie in the franchise, but did you yourself get curious and do any reading up on Ed Gein? Obviously this was in 1990s, there was pre-internet days, but did you dive into that to try to prepare for the role, to get into the head of Ed Gein, or anything like that? Tell us how you prepared.
Well, I put on a mask and grabbed a chainsaw.
Okay. Easy enough.
No, I did not delve deeply into the psychology of the thing.
Okay.
There were already two movies prior to mine. So my mission in my mind was to stay in line with those movies, with the characterization of my predecessors.
Okay, that's
So,
fair.
yeah, I can't even remember if I mean, I'd seen both movies when they came out, and I can't remember if I watched them again prior to filming, or I just, I just wanted to, I wanted to blend into the continuity of the entire franchise. I will tell you one thing. All my predecessors are right-handed. I am left-handed.
Oh, you're a lefty. Okay, that I didn't know.
A lucky lefty. And so just before, when I got that movie, I was working construction in Beverly Hills, and I started using my power tools right-handed to get used to,
To keep it authentic, right?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I mean, you just can't on the third episode, you just can't switch over to left-handed,
There's always going to be someone that's watching the movie that says, "Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Someone's going to catch it and see that it's a lefty in the third one," right?
No, you can't. No, because I used it right-handed like
Right.
everybody.
Right. I'm just agreeing with you, basically saying, like, if you had tried to use your left, someone would have come along and said, because it's just fun for people to find bloopers, I guess you could say, in movies, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you did it, though. You did it with your right hand. And
Yeah.
which is a little scary with a chainsaw, right?
Well, Barbara Jane, remember something too. It's not like I was, at 7 o'clock in the morning, climbing up the side of a mountain and cutting trees, till noon. Yeah. I'd handle it for maybe 5 minutes max.
Okay.
So it wasn't that bad, and I wasn't really cutting anything really, except for the trunk of that Mercedes at the very beginning. I actually cut through that trunk.
That was a question I thought of too. That I didn't see this anywhere in the like trivia type things online. But so it was a real chainsaw. It's not like it's a prop. You're using a real chainsaw.
There were 3 different versions. In the movie, there were 3 different chainsaws, and there were 3 different versions of each chainsaw. There was for each version of the chainsaw that I used in the movie, there was a fully functional, I could cut firewood if I wanted to, with the hero saw. Then there was a modified saw that actually still had a chain and still, ran, but the high teeth were taken off so that it wasn't as destructive. And that is the version of the saw that I used. They handed it to me and said, this thing's wired up to make sparks. So just go ahead and grind through the paint and get to the bare metal.
Okay.
Well, I kept grinding through the paint and grinding through the bare metal. And then there was a plastic version of each one, kind of like a stand-in.
Okay.
So.
And I remember you said something in one of your previous interviews too about one of them being called the Excalibur, right?
Well, that is the name that they gave to it's the one I use for photo ops, at Scarefest and things like that.
Okay.
It is a customized, and it's a plot point. It's a customized, souped up, chromed up, engraved, long, extremely long bar chainsaw that I'm given as a gift by my brother? I don't know, Tinkerbell. Tink. He gives it to me as a gift, and so I use that for the rest of the movie. And the way that they came upon the name Excalibur in the trailer, which is not me, and it's not Kane Hodder. We have no idea who's in the trailer as Leatherface.
Yeah, an anonymous person that we'll just never know.
I remember the line producer came up to me and said, "Hey, we're going to clear your schedule so you can do this trailer," and then nothing ever happened. And boom, the trailer came out anyway. So they hired the company that did the trailer for the movie Excalibur. And they did a frame for frame recreation, but instead of a broadsword, it was the chainsaw. So that's how it got the name. That's how the souped up, chromed up. So I got the name Excalibur.
Thanks for explaining that to us. And the timing, it's like perfect for the first commercial break.
For the what?
First commercial break.
We have commercials.
This is a 2024 Scarefest Weekend sponsoring vendor. The Bombs makes bath and body products for everyone. Ashley Dobbs makes unique small batch hand-painted bath bombs, plus sugar scrubs, whip soaps, and body oils. Find the Bombs on Facebook and at the monthly Central Kentucky Mystical Market in Lexington. Scarefest Weekend sponsoring vendors make the event happen. Be sure to tell them that you heard it here on Scarefest TV.
Today's Crypt features deals with talents in the horror community, from mask makers, sculptors, artists, and more. Plus, podcast Live in the Crypt, shooting the shiz with BK and the Swag, and BK and the Bees, Horror Buzz. Visit their website, join their Facebook group, and thank them for being a Scarefest sponsoring vendor.
And welcome back, everybody, to Scarefest Television. Our guest tonight, R.A. Mihailoff. And R.A., for the record, this is, I think, the first episode I have not mispronounced your name yet.
You did very well, Wes.
Okay, I'm going back to Ride Hard, Leave Free. Now, was that a part that you were approached on? Did you audition for it? And the reason I'm asking, I could tell you liked the theme of that movie.
I did what?
You like the theme of that movie, the undertone, correct?
Oh, it was right in my wheelhouse, you know.
Right.
Okay, I'll tell you something that has probably never been revealed before. At the time, Sid Haig and I had the same manager, Judy Fox, and the producers of Ride Hard, Live Free contacted Judy for Sid. He was their first choice. Sid was not. Well, you know, he's got a long history, and you know. But anyway, what screwed the pooch on Sid? He couldn't ride a motorcycle. So Judy pitched me. It was a match made in heaven.
Oh, I think so.
Said,
yeah.
Like I said, you know. I'm very good friends with Steve, the executive producer, Steve Lowry, and you know, so we actually hang. You know, when we're in the same part of the country, we try to get together. But so yeah, you know, I really liked it. Here's a little thing that I'm going to toot my own horn. So we actually wore Schoner cuts colors, and at the end of the day, somebody from the Sconers would collect all the cuts, okay, from the actors. At the end of the day, they let me take mine home.
Well,
because they knew I knew what was up.
Well, like I said, I enjoyed the movie. Now I do have a question from the chat room. The Pennsylvania project, Pig Hill, is that what they're talking about?
Yes, they are.
How's that coming along?
Chugging along very well, thank you. We the director delivered his final cut, and we watched it on a big screen 2 weeks ago. We had a very small invited audience, and you know, we were happy to hear their notes, their criticism, their enthusiasm. You know, so I'm pretty confident we have a very good movie. We just need to hit post hard and get it out there.
Okay. Barbara.
All right, RA. So during that short commercial break, we were talking about Ed Gein a little bit more, and you said that you did dive into reading about it a little bit after doing the role. Okay.
Yeah, sure did.
Okay.
And what I think is interesting, the archetypal slasher guy is huge, hulking, but Ed Gein was a skinny little twerp.
Yeah, he really was.
And that to me is amusing.
Well, for many years I thought that Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because of how they started talking about like the footage, and I thought it was a real thing that happened. It took me a while into my 20s to be like, to find out Ed Gein was actually, just like in Psycho, being inspired by Ed Gein.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, right?
Yeah, when you're talking about, are you talking about the 1974 original or the 2000?
Any of them, really. Just the way that they're shot, where it kind of looks like, hey, this really happened. It has that feel to it. I mean, obviously not in 2.
Oh yeah,
2 is...
I was totally freaked out. I saw the original in a movie house, and I just probably walked out there, with my jaw on my chest.
Right, it's terrifying. I have to say, as much as I love, I love Michael Myers and all that, just like everybody else, but Leatherface has always been. It just seems like it's another level of terror, just because it feels like, could that really happen? Could there really be this family that's out there that's...
And that is why we had so much trouble with the censors, because it was all pure human on human violence.
Okay.
Whereas Jason, Freddy, Michael Myers, they all have a supernatural element.
Right.
So those movies are able to push the envelope more, but they came down on us very, very hard.
Oh, even in 1990, I would think, yeah, it's still at that point, like, they maybe didn't want to. And I think it was the last movie that was rated X, right?
If according to Wikipedia, if you believe Wikipedia. So yeah, Barbara Jane, you're talking to an X-rated movie star.
So if you had the chance to, speaking true crime now, I don't know if you find any of that fascinating to read about, but in that, like, say if there was another role that came up for maybe John Wayne Gacy or someone else, would you have an interest in playing that kind of a character?
Well, of course I would. I have an interest in playing any kind of character, from horror movies to comedy to commercials to TV. I'm an actor.
And he plays a hell of a Santa Claus. I just want to throw that in there.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Wes. Thanks. I hope you're referring to my name as Chris Kringle.
Was that the name? Yeah, that was the name. The one at the police station.
That's a short, right? It's a short. I didn't get into
short.
that one yet. Okay.
But yeah, going back, I mean, I'll play anything. I did a movie with John Schneider, and we, me, Kane, Bill Moseley, Don Shanks, Michael Berryman was in it. Schneider was in it himself, and I played how can I say this politically correctly? I played a delicate version of myself. I was afraid of everything, and
smothered.
Yes, smothered.
That was smothered.
Smothered. Yes, Wes, that's exactly right. But anyway, I didn't really think about it until I was doing the electronic press kit at the end of the production, and I realized that my character was a combination of Curly from the Three Stooges, the Cowardly Lion, and Julius, the general chauffeur from Beetle Bailey comic strip.
Nice.
It wasn't me. I can tell you that.
But I suppose it's fun playing those different roles where you can completely change your personality and just dive into it.
Say that. I missed the front part.
Oh, sure. I said, I suppose that it's fun to take on a role that's not so much your personality, but just a combination of other characters all in one.
Oh yeah, it is absolutely. No, unfortunately, I get typecast a lot, so those opportunities are few and far between. You know.
Yeah,
But
of course. Well, I was actually telling Wes that I was intimidated. A lot of your pictures that you put out for press, you're mean mugging. You're kind of like mean mugging the camera, like, and I had nothing to go on but that until I started going into the interviews, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's a big old teddy bear.
Oh, shh, Barbara Jane.
Don't tell anyone.
Well, you know, I mean, my image was, I don't know if it still is, now that I'm a bona fide senior citizen, you know, a tough guy. And I defy you to find a fan photo with me smiling.
Oh, you keep it up for the fans too, for all the photo ops?
Yep.
Okay. You know what? People probably like that though.
I think they do.
Yeah.
You know, if something happens and I start to laugh, I'll wait a minute, you're making me laugh. You know.
You have an image to protect.
Correct.
And on that note, it's perfect timing for commercial number 2.
And we'll be back with announcements right after this.
Are you a fan of horror movies, books, comics, music, and collectibles? Rue Morgue magazine is for you. Subscribe today to receive 6 or 12 print issues annually and join me, executive editor Andrea Subisati, on an ongoing journey through the horror genre of the past, present, and future. Plus, get access to unmissable special editions such as A Century of Witches, 50 Years of Gore Cinema, British horror movies, and so much more. Rue Morgue, the world's premier horror and culture and entertainment magazine since 1997. Accept no substitute.
And our first announcement of the evening, Dale Midkiff of our Pet Cemetery grouping. Pet Cemetery, Dale Midkiff, of course, he's also done a lot of movies. He's a cry for help, loves Abiding Joy, Time Tracks, and The Magnificent Seven. But Dale Midkiff is coming to Scarefest. And you've been asking for him to come back. Greg Nicotero, gifted special effects and makeup wizard. He from Living Dead. That's it. Walking Dead. That's it. Walking Dead. Learned his trade from Tom Savini, but Greg Nicotero. Now I can tease it. It'll probably go on sale this week. Yes, we will have a dinner at Nick and Norman's. We just got to get some details hammered out. But that's already in the planning stages. We thought we were going to be able to release it tonight, but we're just a little bit behind the curve on getting the time and everything set. This is one everybody keeps wanting back. Hey, look, it's Dee Wallace. Cujo, E.T., The Howling, Critters Attack, The Frighteners. I do not remember her in The Frighteners. The Hills Have Eyes, Jeepers Creepers, 3 from Hell, Alligator 2 Mutate. I could be here all night just reading her IMDb of horror movies. Dee Wallace is coming to Scarefest. And to round out our celebrity announcements, Billy Zane, Tombstone, The Phantom, Valley of the Wolves, Titanic. You know who Billy Zane is. He's coming to Scarefest. I want to drop another name or two of our tattoo artist, Madison Crump of Bleed Blue Ink. Bleed Blue Ink. Wow, that's hard. Madison Crump will be coming. Also from Bleed Blue Ink, Caitlin Fuller. That's the 2 we're going to drop tonight. Hey, if you want to get in touch with these people, you can find them on Instagram. Go to scarefestweekend.com. Click the Scarefest Inc. link, and we've got their banners up on the website, and you just click the banner, and it'll take you right to their Instagram page. I'm pretty sure they're not requiring appointments. I believe that's what my notes said, but you might want to check with them. Hey, I want to talk about some featured vendors. We've got Astrology and Massage by Fox Intuitives. And she's Barbara Jane, as much as I love you, this is my normal, because I see this person every month. So she's my normal massage therapist. And I need to get an astrology reading. I do. They got to know what time you were born. But they are coming to Scarefest. Another one. Nick Brown, author Nick Brown of a whole buttload of werewolf books. That's what I can tell you about him. He's a prolific writer. All of his, it's like Werewolf for Hire. It's like a werewolf that's a detective, I believe is how it goes. Author Nick Brown. I just saw him like a week ago. Great guy. He will be at Scarefest selling his books. And Dark Corner Collectibles. Dark Corner Collectibles will be at Scarefest. Scarefest Horror Film Festival. We are in the final days. Matter of fact, I got an email today from somebody saying, when are you going to announce? Anyway, but yeah, we got like 2 more weeks, and then we got to buckle down and get the judging done. I have watched 96 horror movies, shorts and features, but I have watched them all now. I caught up this week. But so we're up to 96, and by the end of the month, we'll probably have the 100. I want to give a plug for Gussied Up Magic, new podcast available only at scarefestradio.com. This week, the new episode, this will be their second episode, drops on Monday, Hexes and Curses. Go to the website. There's details about how you can catch Gussied Up Magic with 3 Appalachian witches. And if you join my Patreon project, you can see my interview from this week with Frank Saladino, Gino Ducci-80s guy from Sleepaway Camp. Yes, the guy in the cutoff t-shirt that is my idol, my hero. He's a very interesting guy. Easiest interview I've ever done. I had to do almost no talking. Frank Saladino, go to scarefestradio.com. There's a link there to my Patreon project, or I'll give it to you here in a minute. Hey, my next 5K is coming up September 28th. I'm doing another 5K, and that will be the Run Baby Run. This will be my first one that I've ran 2 of them. This is 1 year since I started this crap, but I want to thank Mama Ruby's for sponsoring me in the Run Baby Run 5K, benefiting NICU babies. Check out my Patreon project, patreon.com/scarefestradio. You will have access to my blog, early access to my new podcast that are coming out, and even Gussied Up Magic. Yes, I put a whole lot of extra content on my Patreon now, because apparently my little thing about dressing up and getting a tramp stamp wasn't getting enough attention. So patreon.com/scarefestradio. Check it out. As low as 25 cents a week, people. 25 cents a week. The Central Kentucky Mystical Market is coming up this weekend. Sunday only, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., I believe it is. But Sunday at the Clarion Hotel North in Lexington. That's Newtown Pike, Central Kentucky Mystical Market. You can go to scarefestweekend.com, click the link, find details there, or find them on Facebook. And one more reminder, mark your calendars, February 15th, get your dancing shoes on. The Caribbean Carnival will be for Mystic Luna events, will be at the Clarion Hotel. And back to my guest now, Ari Mihailoff. Some questions from the chat room. All right. Yes. Do you hold a grudge against Kane for playing Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game?
Absolutely not. He was the perfect choice. He actually called me up, gave me a courtesy call to tell me that he was doing it. He did the Friday the 13th game with Gunn, so he's real tight with those people. And no, I have more power to him.
I knew you were going to say that. Now, here's a serious question. Have you ever, when you're playing a character, any character, pick a character, have you ever been playing a role and stopped and thought, wow, this son of a bitch is crazy, or you just roll with it and just go right through it? Have you ever questioned the role that you were playing because you thought this is really over the top?
No.
Good.
You know, you, at least in my opinion, you have to separate acting from real life, you know? You know that anecdote about Laurence Olivier and Dustin Hoffman, don't you? On Marathon Man.
What about him in Marathon Man?
Okay, so you know, Lord Olivier said this on a talk show. He said, "Yes, you know, while we were making Marathon Man, Dustin came in one day, just prior to shooting the dental scene, and he looked like living hell." And I said, "My God, boy, what happened to you?" And Dustin said, "Oh, Lord Larry, I haven't taken a shower for 2 weeks. I was up all night screaming at the top of my lungs, running in the rain, preparing for the scene." And Laurence Olivier goes, "My God, boy, why don't you simply try acting?" You know, and that's the way I feel. You know, I personally, I switch it off the minute the director calls cut. I head to my chair, grab my coffee, light my cigar, and wait for the next setup, you know. And doesn't matter if you know, I mean, I wasn't burdened with dialogue in Chainsaw 3, but even movies where I've had a lot of dialogue, you know, I'll study my dialogue while I'm sitting there drinking my coffee and smoking my cigar. And, you know, so.
Barbara.
Well, it's funny that we just got the announcement of Greg Nicotero coming, because one of my questions actually involved Greg Nicotero. So this like lines up perfectly. So you actually had the opportunity to work with him on Texas Chainsaw 3.
That is correct.
Okay.
His company, KNB, that's Kurtzman, Nicotero, and Berger Effects, did the mask for Chainsaw 3.
Okay. And there was a point in one of the kills where he had to basically spray blood on you as you were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You want to hear about that?
Yes.
Okay. So this was a scene where Tony Howard, is that her name? Yeah, I can't remember her last name. Tony Hudson. So, you know, she's this little waif that has been brutalized by us, but she escaped and she's hiding in the woods, and she thinks she's on her way to freedom. And I grab her. I grab her by the throat and I impale her on a branch, on a broken branch of a tree. And for some reason, I didn't write the thing and I didn't direct it, but my chainsaw was hanging up in the branches of the tree. So I grabbed the chainsaw and I start drilling into her. Okay. And director Jeff Burr, may he rest in peace, just had, you know, I started, you know, start with the chainsaw very close to your body, and then just as you're drilling in, you know, extend and extend and extend. And finally I got to full extension, and the chainsaw was not a light. It was like 80 pounds, and I'm holding this thing, and it's getting a little annoying, and I'm waiting for Jeff to call cut, which he didn't in a timely manner. And Greg Nicotero is right off, right out of frame with a 5-gallon spray bucket of blood going in my face. So that was the most unpleasant moment of the whole movie, you know. And if that's the most unpleasant thing of the whole movie, then I'm not going to complain.
Were there any challenges with any? Obviously, you had 7 deaths in other movies lined up. So were there any challenges in preparing, I guess, for like practical effects or special effects? Were there any challenges along the way that you can remember?
No, there were
Well,
no
that's
challenges.
good. Okay.
Look, when you assemble a good crew and everybody does their job, things go smooth. There were no, I mean, there were no really elaborate gags. I mean, the truck rollover was probably the biggest set piece of the whole movie. But from my end, no, nothing. Everything went smoothly.
Wonderful. Yeah, we've heard horror stories, from other guests where something went wrong. So it's good to hear that it didn't go that way for you.
Well, it's like I said, surround yourself with good people, and things will be good.
Absolutely.
Competent tradespeople, competent technicians, competent everybody from top to bottom. So
Great.
Okay. We were like a well-oiled machine as far as I was concerned.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yep. And on that note, it's time for another break.
Studios is a Scarefest weekend sponsoring vendor. Trick or Treat Studios is the one-stop shop for high-quality Halloween and horror. Shop masks, costumes, figures, collectibles, games, and more from your favorite movies. Find Trick or Treat Studios online at trickortreatstudios.com.
Joel Robinson Hart is a Scarefest weekend sponsoring vendor. Joel Robinson has been the official Scarefest weekend artist since its beginning in 2008. Joel is a movie cover artist and a Universal Monsters artist. Visit Joel for posters, canvases, t-shirts, purses, and backpacks. Visit Joel's Etsy page at joelrobinsonart.com.
Hey, Scarefest, this is Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. I'm wearing a hat because I just got done working out and my hair is all outrageous. This movie was recommended to me by one of my good friends, Chad Jennings. I lied. He's not really a good friend. He is one of the Boneheads, and truthfully, I'd never seen it or heard of it. It's from 2017, and it's a Japanese film, so it's going to have subtitles, and it's a Shudder exclusive. You can find it on Shudder if you have it, called One Cut of the Dead. And here's what it's about. It's about a film crew who are doing a zombie film, a low-budget zombie film, in an isolated warehouse. And I really can't tell you any more than that, because if I tell you any more than that, it just ruins it for you. This is like 3 movies in one. There's definitively a really good low-budget horror film in the first 30 minutes. That's one take. Then the second 30 minutes is something, and it's all the same story, but it's kind of it's so hard to review because the less you know about it before you go in, the more you're going to be bumfuzzled, which is a word I really like to use. You're going to be shocked, or at least go, what? So I like that. Some of you are going to hate it. First of all, some of you are not going to watch it simply because it's subtitled. I know, I get that. Second, some of you are going to be, but that was just, we bait and switch. I get it. And then the third act, totally different movie. And if you enjoy, but again, same movie, but it's hard to, it's easy to explain. But if I explain a bunch of it, you just won't enjoy it as much. Chad refused. And then I decided, well, I'll try it out. I watched the first 20 or 30 minutes and I was like, well, and then it kicks into something. And then that's where Chad was right. And it's called One Cut of the Dead. And a crazy maniacal director is trying to get his vision, which I completely understand. Oh, I just don't want to say much about it. The acting is really good, but the actors kind of play different roles. The script isn't bad because it switches back and forth. The only real thing I can throw with this movie, it does every once in a while, you're like, man, they got the most they could out of that small budget. And it is a low budget film, but it is extremely entertaining. People kind of play different parts in a way. It's just so much fun. I enjoyed it. Well, I mean, it's not like I don't give stars. So it's not a 4 out of 4 or it's not a 10 out of 10. But I get so excited. I get so pleased. I get so happy when I see something that's fairly original, that's different, that's a different spin, especially when it comes to zombies or slashers or any of that, because we've seen so much of that shit for so many years that I get happy, especially zombies. Zombies, oh God, slashers. I don't know what you're going to do with that. But actually, it's so easy to explain. Just watch One Cut from the Dead. If you have Shudder and you enjoy something different and you're not going to sit here and bitch about, well, that's not what I expected. No, it's not going to be what you expect. Are you looking at me? It is not going to be what you expect. It's not. That's the reason why I liked it. It is so different. It is so, I wouldn't say bonkers. That's not it at all. But it's just so, interesting. And it really is. The only thing I can kind of compare it to, and it's nothing really like it, is if you've ever seen From Dusk Till Dawn, and most of you sure have, it's, tonally different. It's two different. The first part of the movie is kind of a kidnapping film. The second part's kind of about the vampires and tongue in cheek. It's not quite like that, but in a sense, it's like that. So the less you know about the better. If you enjoy how movies are actually made, you'll enjoy this movie. So go out and check Scarefest. Do you hear me? I'm all excited about Scarefest. Can't wait to do it. I'm so excited. And Joe Dante and Charlie Band. Can't wait to get my own Charlie Band. Maybe I can get Charlie Band on It doesn't matter. Anyway, so check it out. Love for you to check it out and let me know what you think. One Cut of the Dead.
And welcome back, everybody, to the last few minutes of Scarefest Television with our guest, R.A. Mihailoff. Now, R.A., can you see this? Can you see this, R.A.?
Yeah, I can.
There is R.A. smiling.
Oh, damn it.
I didn't recognize you.
That's on Fandango. They got that on your bio, just so you know.
Wes, you must obliterate that image.
I'm going to use it as a screensaver.
That was from a premiere for a movie at the Palms in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's a good memory. I wouldn't have remembered exactly which picture.
Well, I smiled, so it's
and it's all over the internet now. That is literally, though, I think the only one that I've seen you really smile. Now you looked. I'll use the word happy in the one that we used on the banner tonight, where you got your head from the Hatchet movie.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You didn't smile, but you looked happy.
Well, I was completely surprised by that. I was doing an appearance at a haunted house in Asheville, North Carolina, called Pinhead's Graveyard, and I've gotten over this year. This year I think will make my 12th year in a row that I go there. I go there after Scarefest, and so I just it's run by a mother, father, and their only son, and I've just gotten to be real close with the family, and me and the son, are like tight. And so we're doing a TV show in Greenville, North Carolina, and he had whatever he had was under like a black wrap, and he unveiled it live on camera, so it completely surprised me. But that head is from a movie called Death House.
Oh, I thought it was one
where Kane stomped him?
No. Where basically you got your head shoved into something.
Yeah, that's the one where Kane curb stomped me. That was Hatchet 2.
Okay.
Right. Okay. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But of course, it was Kane that killed me in the other movie as well.
Well, for the record, every time he dies in a movie, I get excited. So I'm on your side, R.A. Actually, as I worded it once, I get aroused when he dies in a movie.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, TMI, TMI.
I was curious and I saw it was 7 deaths. Seven deaths total that you've had.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, 7 movie deaths. Just in case that's a trivia question that Thursday night.
Oh wow. Can you name them?
I can't name them.
Oh, I can't either.
I can't name them. But I did have 3. There was 3 that I had to yeah, I can't name them.
Well,
Can anyone in the comment section name those 7 deaths?
We probably died in Death House because everybody else did.
well, yeah, Death House for sure.
Just all willy-nilly dead bodies everywhere.
Do you think the end of Chainsaw 3 was a death or not?
No.
Okay.
No, he's not like you said, there's with the boogeyman that there's that paranormal type. He's not paranormal, but man, it's hard to kill Leatherface.
Yeah, you're right. Well, you know, the scene where in the body pit, you know, where we have the big fight in the body pit, and then Michelle ends up grabbing a rock and bashing his head in. And then it was supposed to cut to her walking, you know, out in the middle of nowhere, dazed and confused, and probably, feverish and everything, and just beat up from the night. And the original ending was she plops down on a tire, and the cop car comes speeding in, and she thinks she's saved. And then in the rear windshield of the car, the little girl pops up holding the Leatherface mask. That was the ending.
That's interesting to hear.
Yeah. But then they reshot the whole ending, and they brought me in. They did a very kindness. They wouldn't have had to bring me in, but the line producer, Bob Engelman, was very kind to me and brought me in, even though it could have been anybody, because you never see my face. So, but now you got me. Now 7 deaths.
7 deaths. I know. If we brought it up on IMDb, Wes, bring it up on IMDb real quick.
Well, hell, what the heck?
Okay, Shayna says Death House, Hatchet 2, Smothered, and one of the Krampus movies.
Well, that ain't 7.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4.
Type in R.A. Mihailoff, 7 deaths, 7 movie deaths. Now I'm curious. I should have written them all down.
By the way, I've been informed today, the big swag says hi.
Well, you tell Schwag I said hi right back. Tell him I'm looking forward to seeing him in October.
He can hear you.
Yeah, huh? He's watching you.
He's watching you. He's.
Oh, you can hear me?
Well, you should. It'll be on delay, but yeah.
Hey, Schwag. Hey, Schwag. How's it going, man?
Well, I got one last question for you, and I probably even asked you this before. But looking back at your long history of parts, if somebody wanted to say, what part did you do your best acting in? I don't want to diss your favorite movie, your favorite part. If somebody wanted to see you acting, what movie would you refer them to?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I only get one per show, so
you only get one question per show.
One good one.
Oh, okay.
The rest of it's all bullshit, and you know it.
Hey, let me think. Well, even though I only had a couple scenes in the upcoming movie Pig Hill, I did pretty good in that. I did a movie called Slasher.com.
Yes, and you were good in Slasher.com. I'll give you that.
And my co-star, Jewel Shepard, posted something on Facebook after we did a scene. She goes, "That man, he can love you in 1 minute and beat you in the next minute." And but I suppose, truthfully though, Hatchet 2.
Okay.
Hatchet 2. One of the reviews, which I absolutely loved. You know, going through the plot and everything, and the carved out of granite badassery of R.A. Mihailoff as Trent Graves, which I like that. That was pretty good.
Hey, I have those 7 for you. Do you want to hear them?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. So Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings.
Yeah.
You got thrown around in that one.
Like, yeah. Well, I got
battered to death.
Yep, sure did. Thrown through the wall of my cabin.
Yes. Oh, you remember? Okay.
Oh, my back broke too.
Oh gosh, that's awful. Awful way to die. And then the second one, Trancers 4.
Oh.
It says Trancers 4. It says it's revealed that your cyborg character had been destroyed.
Yes.
Okay.
And but at the end of 3, it was supposed to lead into an appearance in number 4.
Right.
But that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
No.
And then there's another one from 1995 called Strip Teaser. You're shot. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I forgot all about that. That was a Roger Corman film.
Shot in the stomach.
It got gut shot.
And then, of course, Hatchet 2, Smothered, and Death House.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
There you go.
So,
there, we've solved the mystery.
Good job, Barbara Jane. Good job.
Thank you very much. Detective work.
I'll talk to the trivia people and try to get that one pigeonholed in there for you. Get your ringer. Get your ringer question. Well, everybody, this has been Scarefest Television. R.A., thank you 100 times over for coming on short notice. I'm looking forward to seeing you again this year.
Wes, my pleasure. Like I sent the message to you, short notice, doesn't matter. Anything for my Scarefest family. And I look forward to seeing you in October as well. And you too, Barbara Jane.
Thanks, Ari.
So everybody, we'll be back next week with more Scarefest Television.